Hello, everybody. I hope you're all well today. So I just want to talk, I just want to give you a little story um, to show you how powerful the work that I do is. Um, and it's just a really small story, just to give you like a brief outline. And then I'm going to go into my life and like what's happened to me to show you really how you can change your life, because everybody wants to, everybody has a problem, and if you don't have a problem, you must be super awesome and getting results, and absolutely smashing it. But anyway, let me just tell you this little story about to give you an example about how powerful this is. So Elizabeth, my daughter, who's 5, she has been, for the past year, she's sort of been staying up late, later than what we would like. So talking sort of 9:30, getting up into 10 o'clock. And that's been going on for a long time. And, we got to this place where we're just like, oh God, I just want an early night, I just want to have, you want your evenings to yourself when you've got kids, don't you? Because, you just do, but rightly so, we need time to ourselves. So she'd been staying up late for like the past year, not tired, not wanting to go to bed. And we just carried on with that, how it was. So I decided that, one evening, like the other day, I think it was Tuesday, I would really like a night to myself, and for her to go to bed when she's told, to just say, she was tired and she would get to bed because she was going to bed and not being tired. And then she'd be like calling us, I'm not tired, blah, blah, blah. So I said to myself, it would be so nice if she just went to bed and fell asleep. And, we could relax, and I could go to bed earlier as well. So I thought this, and then I imagined that, that she was asleep in bed. And I just had a glimpse of her like being asleep in bed. And I didn't think anything of it. Okay. And I just love this stuff because it's so amazing. But anyway, the next day she came home with a really bad cold. She came home from school, and it was just like, oh, how did you get that? Where did you get it from? Who did you get it from? And she was really under the weather. So we thought nothing of it. And we put her to bed quite early. I think it was like 8 o'clock. And she slept. And then she woke up the next day. She still had the cold. But then I thought, oh, I've had, my evening. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I thought, well, I don't want this cold to go on for ages, because she has really suffered with a really bad cough, like a chest infection in the past, and really bad colds. And that colds go on for a week, and with kids, they go on for ages, and everybody else gets the cold. Anyway, I shouldn't say these things, because that was just something that flamed into my mind. So I was just like, I want her to be really well, because she was going on a play date this evening after school on the Friday. So I was like, I want her to go on a play date, she'll have such a good time. Anyway, so she had this bad cold, and the next day she woke up, and she was okay. She went to school, she was okay, but then she came home last night after school, and she was really not well. So I thought nothing of it, didn't even give it a moment's thought. And about 6:30, put her to bed. I just thought, oh, you're so ill, I'm going to put you to bed. And I had like a whole evening to myself. So I had 2 evenings to myself, and I just thought, this is really nice. Like, I hadn't had it in such a long time. I thought, this is really lovely. And I thought, oh my God, I got what I asked for, but in a different form, like with her being ill. But then I was just like, I hope that she's really good, like, well for a play date today. So I was thinking this last night, and then I imagined her like waking up, just going, oh, like, and she's really good and well. And that's exactly what happened. She woke up with a big smile on her face and no cold, no sign, nothing. And we were just like, oh, that's so cool. Anyway, so she is really well. And it's just like, you don't hear about those things. So I had the evenings, well, I had the evening to ourselves, this morning she woke up fully recovered, as well as I do that colds take a long time to recover from, what they can do. So I realized what had happened. We all got everything that we wanted, everything that we asked for. So you see, I asked for what I wanted and I received like this manifestation. Have you heard of manifesting? Have you heard of that term, manifestation? It made me, I received something, heard the cold, and then I took action, put her to bed, and I got my evenings. And that is the power of manifesting. And if you know how to do it, it is so amazing and it's so effective, But in order for it to be effective, you have to remove certain beliefs and thinking for it to happen, for it to manifest, because certain beliefs within us, about the world, about people around us, about how it all works, about life, they hold us back. And we have to remove these old habits of thinking, because they are just, that's what beliefs are, they're old habit patterns of thinking. So you can take the right action. And it's like the best analogy that I can come up with is, and that's the reason I wanted to do this video for you. It's like when you go in, there's a really great shop. It's a bit like, the shop in Mr. Ben. Does everybody remember Mr. Ben? Well, I do. And it was such a great story. It was a kid's cartoon in the 70s and 80s. And he went into the shop and he got whatever he wanted, and it was all magical and exciting. But it's a bit like that. So it's everything in that shop, everything you've ever wanted and need, but you've had a bad experience in there a long time ago. You've had a bad encounter with one of Mr. Ben's customers. Okay. But when you go in, you think the same thing will happen again. Yeah. So you have a negative attitude towards the shop, towards people, or towards, Mr. Ben. And yet, Mr. Ben, the shopkeeper, you could ask him for whatever you want and you'll get what you need, just maybe not in the form you guessed, that you wanted, or what would happen. Okay, so you can always get what you want, but if you've got like this underlying view, perspective, lens of the shop, then you're not going to get it. You're not going to go in with the right attitude. He's not going to want to serve somebody like that for one. So you have to, if you don't go in with that perspective, then you don't see the right things to do. You don't get the right ideas to, in a way to ask, or, the thing is, we're always manifesting. We just don't realize it. We're manifesting all the time, because we manifest by what we think. What we put our focus on, what we give energy to, expands, it grows. So I hope that makes sense. Do leave a comment if you want more clarity about how this works, or actually just book a call with me and we can go through it together, and you can see, where your blocks are, and let's talk about what you want to change in your life, because, if you're manifesting, if you're thinking about something and you don't realize that you've got this habitual pattern of thinking, you're just going about your day like that mental activity. If you're not understanding how your thoughts are coming, manifesting things into your life, the the same thing is going to keep happening. But it's only when you really get to work with the stuff that I teach, that's when you start to see what's really going on under the bonnet, under the hood. Because you are in like this repetitive thinking pattern, and it perpetuates the cycle in your life. So you get more of the same. You get the same things. You get bored, you get frustrated, you get upset. Certain people are a certain way with you. The same things keep happening, the same circumstances, the same people, situations, and you get more of the same. And this is why success is 95% mindset and 5% strategy. And that strategy is actually action. So the mindset is like, you've got to line up all your snooker balls on the table. And that's your mindset. And then the action is putting them in. The action is the easy bit. You've just got to line up your thinking, because your thinking will color your everything. Your beliefs color everything. So you've got to polish up your thinking if you want to get what you really want. So I hope that makes sense. But before you get what you really want, you've got to release these old habits of thinking. So you can start to work with a really clear slate, and then you start to manifest what you want. And it's just as easy as that. You get 2 evenings to yourself. The thing is, everything you want is here. You just don't see it because of the belief system that you have. And this is why the work that I do is so important. It changes people's lives. See it every day. It's changing people's lives. So are you happy with your results? Do you want to change something in your life? Because it's totally possible. People say, oh, I'm happy, I'm doing my thing, but are you really? When you're not in integrity with yourself, when you tell yourself a lie, you're falling out of integrity. That you don't have that congruence with yourself, that your energy is split, you're splitting yourself off. So that's an important thing to consider. Are you being honest with yourself? Maybe you think you can do it all yourself. Maybe you think you just get positive thinking. It's not positive thinking. It's really not positive thinking. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be getting the results. And if it was just a way of logic, of knowing how to do it, of getting an idea or strategy, then, all these people that I get loads of people, like marketing people and YouTube saying, oh, do this, do that, but it doesn't work for some people. So everybody thinks their way is the right way. But if you don't have like that thinking lined up, if you're not tackling your beliefs, then whatever you do, whatever strategy, whatever action you take, is going to fall flat. Okay, so I hope that's, it's a bit of a love punch, because that's what we're here to do, wake you up. We've got to wake you up, because if you want the results, if you want to change your life, if you're just so fed up with being sick and tired, then I encourage you've got to change things. It's more effort to try harder and think how to change your results. You're going round and round and round in circles and like this hamster on a wheel. And that's how I used to be until I did thinking into results, until I did this program. And that's what I teach, because I was so frustrated. I was like, oh, how do I do this? Why isn't this working? And this works for that person. And you get frustrated and you get annoyed and you get upset. That's my phone. So if you're encountering boredom, in your life, maybe my phone just said, yeah, that's right. If you're encountering boredom in your life, or frustrating or upsetting situations, there's a good chance it's down to your beliefs. Your beliefs are just a collection of habits and ways of thinking, and they pause your emotions. So how is your health? Is it suffering? Are you ignoring it? Because there is conclusive scientific research that deep emotional stress held in the body impacts your immune system. And that causes like adverse physical conditions. Anything in your body is down to, we know that emotions in the body, and when they're repressed, they can turn into disease and physical ailments. And science, this is really compelling evidence now. So what are you doing about it? You've got to start to take responsibility. Start to say, oh, okay, well, that is not working. So maybe I should go for a different way of, have a look at a different option. Because obviously doing this isn't working for me. And it's not working for you because you're not going to the root cause. You're not going to the root problems. And honestly, when you do this, when you study you, when you get to know like everything about you in your like this, your subconscious mind, it really opens up a whole new world. Like physically, emotionally, you get results, whatever you want in life, whatever meaning is for you. But results just happen. And I'll go into why, it works for me. So if you're suffering like, with ill health, you've got to start looking at like what's really happening in your emotional health, because it's stemming from your thinking and your beliefs that you're not dealing with. And, this is for career, this is for money, your confidence, who you are, who you want to be. You're just we're being held back by these limited thinking patterns. So are you sick and tired of getting the same results, despite working harder? That was me. I was working hard, weekends, evenings. That was me. So are you ready to change things to a new level in your personal and professional life? You just need that internal shift. Where you're sitting on like a gold mine, but you have no idea where to start, or perhaps you're just stuck in areas of your life. We're all a little bit stuck, so we just need just need a key to unlock, see what is really going on behind that door. So whoever you are, wherever you are, this is for you. And I cannot encourage this enough. If you've been asking for answers and you've known for a while that there has to be more to life, then reach out to me, because I can help you change it. When I did this program with Bob Proctor, it changed my whole life within 18 months. It wasn't just after 18 months, after a year. Everything just happened, it was a gradual process. But things started to change within like a month. And it feels magical, because you start to look back, and you see the things that you wanted, and you realize they are actually in your life, and you are actually that person that you wanted to be. I went from a life of existing to one of thriving. I went from a really uninspiring career of 25 years to start my own business as a PGI consultant. And there was so much sort of tumbleweed moments in my life. Nothing was progressing, but yeah, it was quite chaotic, and I was stumbling, but then I started to create like a permanent happiness in every area. I mean, every area. And all of this was because I got to know the real me and work with the real me. Okay. And that's what Thinking into Results is all about. So, I believe that, and I wrote a piece about like who I've become to a friend of mine yesterday. And I just want to share a little bit about that, because I want you to understand all about this. I'm just going to put my phone on mute because I don't want it to go off. So, I believe that, like, if we act on what we are intuitively guided to do, which is getting to know the real us at our core, we can transcend like these boundaries that are imposed upon us. They are come from our little life. They come from genetics, how we were raised, what we heard, and they're programmed into us. But we can rapidly like move from this lack, within ourselves, like this not enoughness, to a world of fun, right? And abundance. It really can happen. So all my life, I was like this. I was a very timid person. My teachers used to write, "Oh, Karen is so timid." I never spoke up. I did not speak up, even when I was right. I look back and I was this robot just walking around, like merely existing. I was a good girl. I did what I was told. But in that place, I had this sort of fractured integrity, my unique wholeness. I would copy people. Because I didn't have that confidence in myself. I didn't know who I was. I didn't even understand myself. And that went on into my adult life, But we know that when something falls out of integrity with itself, even objects have integrity, like a bridge. A bridge, if it has its integrity, it can be built anywhere. Okay, but if it falls out of integrity with itself, it fails and it collapses. And so do we. When we don't have full integrity with who we are, at our core level, we fail, we collapse. And this happened to me. And, we're all born in alignment with our true nature. But unfortunately, somewhere along the way, we become distorted and hardwired by circumstances and other people and their experiences and, their programming. And it's passed down. And our natural confidence, this beautiful potential, what we want, who we are, it's diminished and it goes flat and it stops shining. And we are bound into this invisible prison, I call it, because there is so much potential in us, but we are just so limited by this really constricted lens. And it's such a shame. I had a very scary experience when I was 4, my first day of school, and my mum laughs at this, but it really did affect me. Like, it doesn't anymore, but I had like this awful encounter with like my teacher. I was 4 years old and she scared the bejesus out of me. And I was made, I touched some daffodils, some flowers on a window, and they all fell off. And I can't really remember what exactly happened, but I was made to stand in the corner with my head to the wall, and I felt humiliated. Like, I didn't know what that was, but I had this feeling that I was like judged and, shamed. I was shamed. I carried that all throughout my life. So I never spoke up. I was so afraid. So scary things like that happened in my life. And I can talk about it now because that was not that me, But, the time, I got to my 40s, like I realized that I'd lived in this fear all my life. And there was moments of it. Not all the time, but there was like an underlying fear. And maybe you have this. Maybe you have like an underlying fear, breaking from the unknown, maybe speaking up or saying something to somebody, or speaking your truth, expressing yourself in a relationship, talking to your boss, going to contact somebody, or whatever it is. Like, we all have it. But that fear wasn't true to the real me. It was really incredibly inauthentic, and my life sort of scarily started to sort of crumble away, and the masks were coming off, because the real me was shaking these projections off, okay, and to reveal itself true underneath. It wanted to come up to the surface. It was actually screaming, like my intuition was screaming at me to be released, okay, for me to get in touch with who I really wanted to and bring that more to the surface. And this is what thinking into results does. And that's when the results start to change. So, so a more natural explorer or adventurer was starting to come up, and, wanted to do things with my life, wanted to sort of have more interesting people in my life, And the more I began to understand myself, the more I loved who I was. And instinctively, I learned to embrace the real me, the person that I wanted to be. And my once felt like a distant fairy tale. But each day, became like this exciting challenge to make my dreams real. The journey of life, it used to feel so hard. But when I began to peel back these layers of limitation, I felt like I was getting closer to love, and not love, not romantic love, but the love of life. To just go, yes, I love what I'm doing. I love who I am. Things were happening, aligning, more money, more time, just loving life. And I know what it is to have my wants feel like a distant fairy tale. I know what it is to suffer. I suffered, I really did. But I believe that I did those years of hard work. And, even Bob says this, he says, he's really done the hard work, and through trial and tribulation and test, we've done the hard work so we can show others that hard work, they don't have to do it, and I don't want that for other people, because those things that we suffer are really horrible. They are not very nice at all, and I don't want that for you. I don't want that for other people. So when the light shines, follow it. I encourage you to follow it. If something here resonates in your soul, follow it. Just follow it, This purpose that I have is to help others on their path. It's not about me. It's not about what I know. It's about bringing people together to learn, to grow, to love, and to live a life to help the world shine. And that might sound idealistic and crazy. And why not? This journey is freedom for all. So we can walk it together or alone. We can do this together or alone. But for learning, for those of us learning and listening together, we can say, oh my God, thank you. Look how far we've come. So there's no doubt that when you give good energy to something, it expands. So give yourself the best energy. Give yourself something amazing. Start looking at start being honest with yourself. Start being responsible. and start thinking it is possible. It can be possible for me. And, be vulnerable enough to say, yeah, okay, I need a hand with this. That's what I had to do. It changed everything for me, because I was that person that was like, I can do it. I can do it. I did that from when I was really like a little girl. I can do it. I've got this. Well, actually, we all need each other. We all need each other, and we all, want to help one another. So why not just reach out? Get to know the real you underneath, and I can help you do that. And then you can like revel in your glory. You deserve this. You can revel in your honor of seeing yourself shine so bright. Imagine just waking up every day, just going, wow, this is actually happening. This is magical, but it's not magical. There's no magic. Well, I think there is. Like, I love, things happen and they do feel magical. Anyway, just reach out and book a call with me. You begin to an adventure to uncover like your unique true self. Who you want to be will become who you are. It's so possible. So I just wanted to, I'm going to wrap up this story because it's going on for long enough. It's probably gone on for longer than I anticipated. But I encourage you to really start to think about this seriously. Because I know that you I'm okay, I've got this. But have you really? What are your results telling you? Is that thing that you've been thinking about for so long, possibly years, is that in your life? What are you going to do about it if it isn't? No, I'm not a coach. I will never tell you to do things harder, to try more. That is not what we do. That is not what I do. That is not what thinking into results is all about. It's an easier way of life. It is an effortless way of life. Like I said, it's about lining up all your snooker balls and then you just pop them in and then you get the results and you get the big win, whatever you want. So I'm going to leave it there because you listened long enough. So thanks for listening, and I'll have a great weekend and I will catch you next week. All right. Take care. Bye.